I wanted to feel like I came out of the pandemic having accomplished something that I wouldn't have been able to do, or would have been harder to do otherwise. Right. And so, yeah, I decided I was going to freeze my eggs, and it's such a weird process on so many levels, but it struck me initially that as I started just Googling on the internet, it was really hard to find resources. And it was like, with questions I had, and I didn't think my questions were unusual. I thought they were probably the questions any girl would ask who was exploring the process, but it just was surprisingly hard to find information. And then at the time I was working for ABC News, and Good Morning America, thankfully, was open to me talking about it and gave me a platform. And I could not believe the reaction I got and the response I got on social media in sharing it, because there were women just like me, as I imagined, who were looking for answers to their questions, and who just needed, I think, to see somebody else experiencing it and willing to share it. So yeah, all that being said, like, a box just shows up at my door one day, and, dump it out on the ground. And it's just like needles and bottles, these syringes, and and I'm just like, what? This is so intimidating. And I had one of my best girlfriends on the phone with me as I was watching a YouTube tutorial about how to give yourself the shots. And I was having to give myself 2 or 3 shots a day. And it's just like the weirdest process. And, there's the one shot where you have to take the liquid out of one vial and put it into the vial with the powder and mix it up. And you're just like, I'm shocked this isn't more foolproof. Like, I am going to screw this up. And what happens if I screw this up, and this is expensive? And if I mess up one shot, does it ruin the whole process? Like, you're just asking yourself all of these questions, and you just feel like there are all these ways that you're going to mess it up. And then after I got through the first night of shots, like, after that, it was like, bam, 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 became routine in a way that actually like surprised me, how easy it became. But what I learned through the process too, is that like every woman's experience with egg freezing, or if you turn those into embryos and do IVF, like, that initial process is, every woman experiences so differently. Right. And for me, through the period where I was giving myself the shots, which was almost 2 weeks, I was living life as normal. I mean, I was treating my body like I was pregnant in terms of, what I was eating, and, I wasn't drinking any alcohol, all of the things like that. But I was working. Like, I interviewed Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, the day before my egg retrieval. And then, now granted, I had on like a boxy blazer and I looked like I was 3 months pregnant, but like, I went in for my retrieval the next day. And like, to that point, the process has been so easy relative to the fear I had of what it would be like. Now, there was one day, thankfully it was a Saturday, where I woke up in the middle of that process and I felt so hungover. And I was like, I don't understand. I haven't had a drink in like a month. Why do I feel this way? And then I was like, it's the hormones. Just listen to your body in this. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be weirded out. Like, it's just your body's taking it, going through this incredible process. And I just laid on the couch all day and watched Grey's Anatomy and cried. And I just let myself, and I didn't get too upset about it beyond just saying, I need to cry. Like, the hormones are real. This is all happening. Anyway, fast forward, I do the egg retrieval, and that's when it got difficult for me. My recovery process was really intense. And it was intense in large part because I had a really successful cycle. I was lucky enough to have a lot of eggs. And I've realized in the process of sharing my story, sometimes it's hard for other women to hear like how many eggs I got, knowing that like it's hard to get a lot of eggs, right? And I didn't realize that when I first shared that could be uncomfortable for a lot of women to hear that number. I just thought I was sharing information and that would be helpful. But I had a really successful retrieval process, and then my body freaked out. Like, if you think about what you're actually doing to it, and you're pumping in these hormones to create all of these eggs, get the biggest bang for your buck in this one retrieval that you can, and then they're gone. Like, my body went into a sort of shock. It's called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. And I was down for the count for like a week. Like I had intense nausea for the first 3 days and was told I needed to cut out all carbs and all sugar, or else the pain I would be in would be even worse. But yeah, it was a definite journey, but I'm so glad I did it. And have been such a proponent of women who are even thinking about it to do it. I was lucky at 35 to have as successful of a retrieval process as I did. But I still wish I would have done it sooner. Like I still wish I would have done it younger. And if your insurance covers it, definitely take the money and do it now. Like don't wait. That's sort of my message. Like my insurance didn't cover it. And I think that's like just unbelievable that it was something I had to do on my own in that way. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, I really love supporting other women through the journey.
I think it's so beautiful that not only you're willing to have these conversations, that you're willing to discuss your own journey with it, that you're encouraging other women to explore it themselves, because I do think that we are in a phase of empowering women who aren't necessarily in a rush to do what we were told to do years ago, right? Like before it was like, oh, you're in your mid 20s, like it's clock's ticking, you better get married, have kids. Like there are women who, like yourself, are absolutely crushing it in their careers, who set out to do something when they were 10 years old and have done exactly what they set out to do with a lot of hard work and dedication. And so to empower other women to see, by seeing your journey and then you telling them like, I did this and you could do it too. And it doesn't mean that I don't have to I have to sacrifice a family. It doesn't mean that I have to make this decision now, but that like you took it upon yourself to take matters into your own hands and say like I'm going to make sure that I have the information, that I share the information that I get, because it wasn't easy to find, is such an amazing way to support other women. And I really, really appreciate you doing that. That's incredible.
Thanks for asking the question.